Hello, hello. Um, I haven't done a follow-on meditation in a while, and I feel like I'm slacking a bit of my practice. So here I am. My legs are already pretty numb though, so I don't know how long I'll be able to go for. But you'll know from seeing how long the video is. This is some meta stuff going on over here. Jeez. Okay. So just starting to return to the breath, take a few deep breaths and return to this restfulness. Just releasing the shoulders, the brows, the eyes. The neck, the legs. Feeling like a blob of jelly. And just slowly releasing any tension that's holding our form. And moving the attention to feeling the breath, of course. But also feeling or becoming aware of what it is that we're seeing with our eyes. Not looking at anything in particular, but just bringing the whole of our vision into the attention. Allowing the body to reshift and reshuffle as it needs to. Just focusing on the breath and the vision, the gaze, the back of the eyelids. Any thoughts that come, using them as a stimulus to bring more attention to the breath and to the gaze. Every time the attention is pulled elsewhere, just gently returning back to where we were. Any tension that shows up, just asking it to return to rest, inviting it to, letting the body relax, allowing it to happen, and returning to the back of the eyelids again. Maybe seeing which shapes there are here. What colors can I make out? Feeling some tension return to my eyes as I move my attention here. Releasing my shoulders again, my brow, my jaw. Starting to slow down the breath again. Any anxiety, elation shows up in our attention, just inviting it to relax. Don't want to become attached even to the positive emotions, because that still results in compulsion, in just following wherever our attention goes on its own. So we're really just in this period of time just trying to remove this compulsion as much as we can. So keeping it where we want it to be. That doesn't have to be the same place all the time. It can move, but returning there whenever it's distracted. So continuing to feel the sensations of the breath. I'm feeling them at the very surface level at the moment. So just moving in closer with my attention to my nose and my belly. Just feeling the sensations here with a bit more depth, with a bit more focus. Became a bit distracted, so just returning to the breath. And allowing my body to relax. And just feeling the breath in my nose and my mouth. Allowing the body to yawn if it needs to, but keeping the attention on the breath. Even as I talk, trying to feel the breath come out, the sensations of it. Distracted by thought again, so returning to the breath and inviting these thoughts to release. Don't need any thoughts right now, any internal monologue. Even in yawning, feeling the breath, the sensations of each and every breath. You might feel a bit uncomfortable at first, being aware of so many different things happening at once. But this is the way we move out of compulsions. Doing things that feel uncomfortable at first, but ultimately we're better off doing them. That doesn't apply to breaking all compulsion. But I think it does in this case. Returning to the breath. Increasing the depth of our attention on the breath. Any thoughts in a monologue that comes, inviting it to rest. Any impulse, any urgency to do anything else, inviting it to rest. Any reaction to any sensation you're having, I'm having, inviting it to rest, and returning to the breath. Inviting everything to release and rest, even inviting sensations to rest, although they won't, so we focus on them instead. Just trying it out. Yep. Can still feel my breath even after telling it to rest. It does lessen pain and numbness though. And of course tension. Maybe that should be my new motto. meditation safe space. Just tell everything to rest. Doesn't really flow very well. Literally any thoughts that come, just telling them to rest. Any monologue that comes, inviting it to release whatever's holding it together, to return to the stillness of the mind, the emptiness that's there before it was and will be thereafter. Feeling a bit uncomfortable because it feels like my body's tilted more to the right than my head is. And just this uncomfortability is a reaction to a sensation. So just inviting it to rest. And the same with the displacement sensation itself. And it realigns itself. And I return to the sensations of the breath. Bringing to rest all and any and every thought that comes. Every single piece. Every piece that comes into my attention. Anytime I'm pulled into the imagination, just returning back, inviting the pull to rest. Releasing tension in my body where it happens. Releasing my shoulders, my forehead, my brows, my eyes. Returning to the breath. Feeling of urgency towards my legs going numb. Inviting it to rest. Sensations of spinning, 2 counter-rotating spins, inviting it to rest. Or maybe seeing if I can bring it back. It was pretty cool actually. And returning back to the breath. Any fear, apprehension, regret that pops up, is releasing it as a stress, as a tension, a constriction of our energies, our emotional substratum. Thoughts arise, rest, rest. Tension in the shoulders again. It's okay. It's okay. Rest. Lost in thought a bit. Told a thought to rest, then another thought told my thought to rest. It happens sometimes. The mind's a bit of a jester, a trickster. We're just returning to the breath. We can't win in its ball game, but we can move out, explore other things. So returning to the sensations of the breath. Still inviting thoughts to rest. But from a basis of the breath rather than a basis of the mind. The foundation of our attention staying in sensations of the body rather than sensations of the mind. The body tells you what's actually happening, while the mind likes making up worlds that aren't necessarily related to reality. The reality around us. So as a foundation of our attention, we use the body instead, or anything more foundational in reality. If you can perceive something more, use that instead. But if you can't, don't worry. The body's fine for now. Just feeling the breath, releasing any thoughts or emotions or tensions, reactions. curiosity about how long I've been here. Inviting it to relax as well. I've seen it, I've felt the sensation, it's in my memory now. It doesn't need to persist anymore. Return to rest. Thank you for the role you've played, but I'm going to return to the breath now. Just releasing tension in the shoulders again, and the brow. Releasing any monologue and returning to the breath. Returning to the breath. Have this feeling of increasing in intensity, a beat within me somewhere. Not my heartbeat, something else. Just observing the fear that arises, the anxiety it causes me. Inviting it to rest. If the sensation persists, that's fine, but the invitation is there. Returning to the breath, inviting any monologue to rest. Anxiety about sitting for longer, inviting it to rest. There's an intelligence somewhere, deeper in the mind, deeper in the body, that moves without thought, without monologue, without anxiety. Whenever that intelligence wants me to get up, there won't be any anxiety. So just inviting the anxiety to rest. It's okay. Have faith in the higher self, the expanded self, the greater self. Have faith in the self. It's you after all. It's you and it's me. Well, it's me, but me in this situation is you, I guess. Words. Just continuing to focus on the breath. Feeling of back and forth really quickly. causing anxiety again. So releasing the emotion, inviting the feeling to rest. If it rests, great. If it doesn't, it's the same as the breath, the sensation of reality. Releasing tension in the eyes, the shoulders, releasing anxiety, urgency. Rest, rest, rest. Relax. It's okay, it's okay. Thought arises. Is it okay? How are you sure? Because thought is a small part of the mind. Just allowing the greater part to take over for a bit. Isn't going to cause any harm. So releasing this thought. This thought playing as legitimate to test. Releasing any enmity as well. Any aversion to this kind of thought. Thoughts are just thoughts. We give them attributes that they don't have inherently. So seeing these attributes show up, just inviting them to rest as well, to release. Releasing attachment to them. Returning to the breath. Feeling of anger from the mind, of it being ignored. Feeling the sensations in the body. And inviting them to release, to relax. It's okay. I'm not ignoring you. I hear what you're saying. But I'm going to return to the breath now. Future projection begins. Unnecessary, counterproductive, inviting it to rest. Trying to be present with the breath. So, any future projection, regardless of how true it will become, is a distraction, is counterproductive. So inviting it to rest, returning to the breath. Question raised of reaching my physical limit of sitting like this. To be honest, my legs are hurting, but if I just tell the pain to rest, it becomes bearable again. So I'm not at the limit, not really. So just telling this feeling to rest. It's okay, I got this. Feeling of aversion towards it, inviting the aversion to rest, to release. Returning to the breath. Feeling of okay, I'm peaceful enough now. Let's get up, get on with the day. Inviting this feeling to rest. Returning to the breath. Anxiety, rest, relax. It's okay. Returning to the breath. Feeling of pain increases in the legs and the feet. Rumbling, inviting it to rest. I'm fine. Okay. Eyes starting to open. So continuing with the sensations of the breath. Just coming to a close maybe. I'm going to stay with the breath though. Still going to continue inviting thoughts to rest. Try to uncover what's underneath this compulsion. I have a feeling it's gonna be good. Thank you for joining me this morning. however small the space, that it's not that I'm creating it, it's what I'd be doing anyway. I'm just sharing it, however small it is, however small the number of people. I feel happy that I'm making an impact somehow. So thank you for anybody who's stayed here this long. And for anybody who joins in the mornings or the evenings. Thank you.